Hello gardeners, I'm here in my home garden this weekend and I'm going to plant some tomatoes, so let's talk tomatoes. It's a little early generally to be putting them in. Usually you're waiting till May 10th or 12th, but there's no cold weather in the forecast. We've had warm temperatures. I checked the soil temperature, it's over 60 here. So I think the ground is there to gently welcome our tomatoes. You don't want to shock them. I started these tomato plants from seed in my garage back in March. Grew them to this point under lights. Within the last couple of weeks, I moved them out to a cold frame where I could cover them up, get them ready and used to and acclimated to the temperatures and to the sun. And now they're ready to put in. Now you can see I've got a lot of tomatoes. We can a lot of salsa. We made a lot of fresh salsa and we just slice them up on our plates. So I'm kind of a geek about them. And I have a lot of varieties, but if I were only going to plant a few varieties, I would definitely plant a Brandywine. That's an heirloom. It's big. It's the most flavorful tomato there is. It's kind of ugly. I'd plant an Early Girl. They're just a dependable hybrid, disease-resistant, delicious. It's nice to get something like a Cherokee Purple or a Black Crim, just because they've got this great full flavor and they're darker. So if you slice up some tomatoes that are dark purple with a nice red tomato, and then you can get a yellow tomato and put it on a plate, you've got a pretty nice looking plate sitting on your kitchen table. Let's go take some of these over to a bed that I have ready and put them in the ground. Okay, I'm going to put 6 plants in this bed. I'm going to space them 18 inches apart from one another. I've kind of got them set where I want them to go. You might think that the plant looks a little leggy. That's a good thing, because what I'm going to do before putting this down in the soil is I'm going to cut off these bottom leaves and I'm going to drop it down way deep in the soil. Every one of these little hairs that you see along the roots, along the stem, will become roots. So the deeper you can get it, the more roots you have. The deeper you have it, the better the moisture will stay even. And I'm just going to get myself a nice deep hole here. I'm going to take my plant out of the container. If you get yours at a garden center, take a look and make sure that the roots aren't all wrapped around in a circle. You don't want that. And it's okay to just loosen them up a little bit. Get it down so the green is up over. Get some soil down in there, and then you want to make sure that the soil is in contact with the roots. You don't want any air pockets to dry out. One of the easiest ways to do that is before you get it completely full, kind of flood it, and it'll wash the soil down along where the roots are sitting. And it's ready to go. I'm going to make sure that I remember what I planted. I planted a Cherokee Purple here. And we'll move on and get the rest of these done too. Tomato plants grow really tall and really heavy. A lot of the tomatoes will get 7 feet tall. If you don't stake them, they're going to crawl all over your garden box. They're going to go out into the paths. The fruit's going to sit in the soil and rot, and that's not good. So you want to support them in some manner. More often than not, you'll find people using what are called tomato cages, and that's better than not staking them. They're not perfect because it's a very heavy plant and this aren't quite tall enough, so they'll tip, they'll fall over. Use them if that's all you have. These are way better. You have to make them. I can't find anybody selling them, or not for anything I'd want to pay for them, but all it is concrete reinforcement mesh. You can buy a 50-foot roll 5 feet tall for $40, and if you make an 18-inch diameter, I figure you can get almost 10 out of a roll. So for $4 or $5 you can have a cage that's tall enough, that's sturdy enough, that you can still reach in and harvest with. So do stake your tomatoes in some way or another. Plant enough that you can have fresh salsa and fresh tomatoes. If you plant too many, and that's very possible, give them to us and we'll give them away at the food pantry. I'm going to put 12 in a box at the Churchyard, and I'm going to donate all of those to the pantry. People are going to need food all summer long. So be safe, stay hopeful, be careful, keep gardening.